Would you spend $3 billion to finish a stadium abandoned 15 years ago? Valencia started it in 2007. Then came the crash, and everything stopped. Now, in 2025, it's finally being revived with a bold twist. Stick around. This is football's wildest stadium comeback. Welcome to Big Builds. The ghost of Nou Mestalla. In the early 2000s, Valencia CF wasn't just a football club. It was a force. They were climbing the ranks in La Liga, making waves in European competitions, and building a reputation as a serious contender. With back-to-back Champions League final appearances in 2000 and 2001, and a league title in 2002, the club was riding a wave of momentum. Valencia wasn't just competing with the big boys, they were becoming one. And with success on the pitch came ambition off it. The management and fans alike believed it was time for a new home, a grander, more futuristic stadium that could reflect their bold identity and match their rising status. That dream took the form of Nou Mestalla. Construction on the new stadium officially began in 2007. The plans were bold: ultra-modern steel architecture, a massive seating capacity of over 70,000, and features that would rival the likes of Camp Nou in Barcelona or the Santiago Bernabeu in Madrid. Nou Mestalla was designed not just to be a home for Valencia CF, but a footballing landmark in all of Europe. It was bold, beautiful, and years ahead of its time. But then came the global financial crisis of 2008. Within a year of breaking ground, the club's financial health unraveled. Sponsorships dried up, loans collapsed, and Valencia found themselves in a financial freefall. The project was immediately frozen. Construction workers packed up, and cranes stopped moving. All that remained was a concrete and steel skeleton, a silent reminder of what could have been. Year after year, the unfinished stadium stood untouched, gathering dust, graffiti, and rust. For over a decade and a half, it loomed over the neighborhood like a broken promise. Locals nicknamed it La Catedral Fantasma, the Ghost Cathedral, and in many ways, that haunting name captured the soul of the project perfectly. Why it's finally happening now. So why now? Why 2025, after nearly 2 decades of silence? The answer, as always in football, starts with money, but there's more to it than just finances. Over the last few years, Valencia CF has slowly been clawing its way out of the financial black hole it fell into after 2008. While the club hasn't exactly returned to its early 2000s dominance, it has found a bit of solid ground to stand on. And then came a game changer. In 2021, La Liga struck a massive deal with CVC Capital Partners, injecting billions of euros into Spanish football. The goal? Help clubs modernize infrastructure, improve technology, and strengthen their brands for the long haul. This wasn't free money though. It came with strings. Clubs had to put the funds toward tangible upgrades, stadiums, training centers, digital platforms. For Valencia, it was the lifeline they'd been waiting for. Suddenly, that decaying hulk of concrete, La Catedral Fantasma, had a shot at resurrection. Peter Lim, the Singaporean businessman and deeply controversial owner of Valencia CF, finally saw a path forward. He wasn't acting alone either. Behind the scenes, new investors stepped in, city officials re-entered negotiations, and a revised construction deal came together. Instead of chasing the over-ambitious mega-project from 2007, the new plan focused on what made sense in 2025: sustainability, functionality, and a stadium that could evolve with the times. Less spectacle, more soul. Crucially, it's all lining up with one major milestone: Valencia CF's 100th anniversary in 2027. A century of football in the city deserves more than just a celebration. It deserves a statement. And finishing the Nou Mestalla, at long last, could become the ultimate symbol of rebirth. Not just for the stadium, but for the entire club. Smaller, smarter, stronger. The original Nou Mestalla was going to be a giant, an architectural beast. Over 70,000 seats, a sweeping steel structure that would dominate the skyline and rival the biggest arenas in Europe. It was the kind of big, bold, pre-recession thinking that defined the 2000s. Build huge, think huge, spend huge. But football and the world has changed a lot since then. The new version of the stadium? It'll seat around 49,000 fans. Now, at first glance, that sounds like a downgrade. Nearly 20,000 fewer seats? Doesn't that mean scaling back the dream? Actually, it's one of the smartest decisions Valencia has made in this whole long, painful process. First of all, it's about honesty. Valencia isn't filling 70,000 seats every week. La Liga attendance numbers have shifted, and the club's on-pitch performance hasn't drawn consistently massive crowds in years. A smaller capacity means a tighter, louder, more passionate crowd. It makes the stadium feel full every match day. And that kind of energy, it matters for the players, for the fans, for the intimidation factor. Second, it's a win for sustainability. Less concrete and steel, fewer materials, smaller operational costs. This all adds up to a greener stadium. Heating, cooling, cleaning, and powering a smaller venue requires far less energy. The new Nou Mestalla is being built with the environment in mind, aligning with modern trends in eco-conscious architecture. Solar panels, water recycling systems, and efficient lighting are all part of the plan. Third, flexibility. The new design is modular. If Valencia experiences a resurgence, if the glory days return and demand explodes, upper tiers can be added later. They're not closing the door on the future, they're just not betting the entire house on it. In 2025, it's not about being the biggest, it's about being the smartest. A stadium powered by the sun and the fans. Here's where things get interesting. This isn't just a football stadium, it's a sustainable energy machine. The new Nou Mestalla will be equipped with over 1,000 solar panels, making it one of the greenest stadiums in Europe. These panels will power everything, from lighting to security systems to even heating the pitch. The stadium will also collect and reuse rainwater for irrigation and cooling systems. But it's not just about eco points. It's about efficiency, about lowering operating costs over decades, about leading the way for other clubs stuck in aging concrete giants. Inside, the fan experience is getting a total overhaul. Valencia is installing ultra-high-speed Wi-Fi, immersive sound zones, and real-time stats on massive screens throughout the arena. You won't just watch the game, you'll feel like you're inside it. And for fans who can't be there physically, there's talk of virtual seat technology, where remote viewers can sit in a specific seat with a full 360-degree live view. It's wild, it's futuristic. It might just redefine how football is watched. The neighborhood gets a reboot. For years, the unfinished Nou Mestalla didn't just haunt Valencia CF, it cast a shadow over the entire neighborhood. Real estate stalled, businesses avoided the area, and locals were stuck living next to a massive, rusting reminder of what never happened. But now, with construction back, the area around the stadium is being transformed. The new plan includes community centers, shopping areas, green space, and even a museum celebrating Valencia's rich football history. This isn't just about finishing a stadium. It's about healing a part of the city, turning an eyesore into an icon. Locals who once scoffed at the project are now buying in, literally. Property value is rising. New restaurants are opening. The economic ripple effect is finally real. A legacy on the line. There's no sugarcoating it. Valencia CF has had a rough couple of decades. Financial turmoil, mismanagement, and falling short on the pitch have taken their toll. And for some fans, the stadium delay was the final insult. So the stakes here are massive. If Nou Mestalla is completed on time, on budget, and actually delivers on the promises, it could be the rebirth of a club that struggled to find its footing in the modern football era. But if it fails, if delays come back, or if the final product underwhelms, it could be the nail in the coffin for fan trust. That's why the club is going all in. This stadium isn't just a building, it's a statement that Valencia still matters, that they're still fighting. It's redemption, or ruin. The twist you didn't see coming. All right, ready for that wild twist we promised? Valencia CF is working with tech developers to introduce AR matchday experiences inside the stadium. That's right, augmented reality overlays for fans during games. Imagine sitting in your seat and through your AR glasses or phone, seeing player stats floating above each athlete. Heat maps, tactical lines, instant replays at your fingertips. They're calling it the Smart Stand. It's optional, of course, but for tech-savvy fans, it could completely change the way matches are experienced. It turns every game into part match, part video game. Will it work? That's up for debate. But one thing's for sure, no other stadium in Spain is trying anything like it. Nou Mestalla isn't just a construction project. It's a second chance. A second chance for a stadium that became a national joke. A second chance for a club that's been through heartbreak, humiliation, and decline. And a second chance for a city that waited nearly 20 years to see a promise fulfilled. If it works, Nou Mestalla could become a model, not just for Spanish football, but for every club sitting on unfinished dreams. But if it fails again, it could be remembered as the most expensive mistake in football history. Which side of history will it land on? We'll find out soon enough. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into one of football's biggest comebacks, hit that like button, subscribe for more insane builds from around the world, and let us know in the comments. Do you think Nou Mestalla is worth the $2.8 billion price tag? Or is Valencia making a massive mistake? Again? This was Big Builds. We'll see you in the next one.